everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I'm going to be doing my movie, TV show, music wrap up for April. So April was a bit of a crazy month. If you've been watching my videos over the past couple days or so, you know that I've officially graduated from my master's and I'm going to be starting my residency in June. So the last third week of April was nuts. I've never been so stressed out in my entire life, but nonetheless I was still able to find time to kind of relax and rewind, either watching a TV show or a movie or just listening to music. So before I begin, I also will be doing a Q&A video later this month, so if you want you can leave your questions down below, either about what my undergrad experience was, applying for graduate school, kind of what I'm doing with my residency, kind of explaining that, what it was like tearing my ACL within the first month of starting my master's program. So you can leave all those questions down below. I'll be doing this kind of video later in the month. So let's just go ahead and get started. So starting on to music, I'll have kind of my music choices listed here of what I purchased this month. I think my favorite is definitely Babe by Sugarland featuring Taylor Swift. I was a big Sugarland fan and they finally kind of gotten back together after 5 years or so apart. So I was really excited when I saw that their track list had one that was featuring Taylor Swift, and this was one that Taylor Swift wrote during her Red era, and I really love it. They just do a really good job of incorporating the 3 voices in here and kind of the end when there's so many things going on. So that's definitely been a song that I've been listening to nonstop. And then another one is Doubt by Mary J. Blige, and I don't know, I just stumbled upon this video on YouTube that I guess Taylor Swift, during her 1989 tour, she brought Mary J. Blige as a guest singer, and they sung this song together. And I think it's I discovered it when I was doing my last practicum, and it just kind of how you having self-doubt, and I think this is something that really motivated me going into it, and it's really uplifting. So I highly recommend you check it out. If I can find the video with Taylor Swift singing it at their tour, I'll link it down below. It was just really good, and I think it's really good if you have this internal dialogue that you're not good enough, and all this stuff. It's a really good song, so I highly recommend that. So I think May was the month of TV shows. So earlier this month I finished season 2 of A Series of Unfortunate Events, and I'll link my review for that season up below. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. They are adding more storylines, they're kind of branching off from the books and adding more storylines and expanding the world. So I haven't read these books in a very long time, so it's I know I don't remember this, but pretty sure that did not happen in the book, but they added they expanded the role of one character named Olivia, which I won't kind of go into that, but I really liked her character and just kind of expanding it. It's a quirky show, it's weird, but it works, and I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait till season 3 comes out next year, which is the final one. So I'm hoping they'll kind of answer more of our questions, and then kind of the ending with the mysterious character. I cannot wait to see how that is all going to play out. I also ended up finishing The Crown on Netflix, which I loved. I'm obsessed with the show, and I'm very interested to see what they're gonna do in season 3, because they are kind of recasting everyone because they're doing a time jump. So I'm very interested to see how that is all gonna play out, and I really enjoyed this show. It's really fascinating for me, especially growing up in Canada. A lot of the stuff that I learned, I remember learning about this in school, but being able to kind of see it unwind on the screen and just kind of see what was supposedly going on behind the scenes, I think it's really interesting. And I don't know, I would never want to be in that situation. I would never want to be royalty, so I'm very happy about my simple life. But this is really interesting. If you're looking for a really good historical drama, then I highly recommend this show. It is very well done, and I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with the new cast and the time jump, so I'm really excited about that. I love this show. It was so interesting, and I'm a big history junkie, so this was right up my alley, because I finished Downton Abbey and I had this hole in my heart. So I would recommend actually doing Downton Abbey first and then The Crown, because in terms of chronological because I think Downton Abbey starts in 1912 and ends in the mid 1920s, and then The Crown starts kind of in the 1940s. So that's what I recommend. But yeah, And then also on Hulu, season 2 of The Handmaid's Tale started, and that show is like really intense. I'm like, it only I've only watched episode up to episode 1, I think. So that's the only time when I'm filming this. So yeah, it's like really intense and all of that stuff. So like it's crazy because I can see it happening, and the cast does an amazing job, and it's a lot of the praise that you hear is well deserved, and I think it does raise a lot of dialogue into our society, and just especially everything that's going on in America in terms of the kind of government and all of that stuff. So yeah, it's not enjoyable, but it is very gripping, and you can't not look away. So I'm very interested to see, because they've kind of diverged from the book, because where kind of season 1 ended is where the book ended. So this is like totally new terrain, so we don't know going into this what's going to happen. So I'm really excited for this season. And so I'm currently on the hunt for a new Netflix show. So if you can comment down below, I'm thinking either The Good Place or Parenthood. So let me know which one you think. But those are the two that I'm kind of in between now. So yeah, that's kind of it for TV shows. So let's just kind of move on into movies. Alrighty everyone, as always, you can always follow me on Letterboxd as LexieDM14, so let's go ahead and get started. So I did end up watching quite a bit of movies compared to the 3 that I watched in March. So to start out, I watched Jumanji, which was the first time I watched it in a really long time. I remember watching this when I was a kid and being terrified. We watched it in grade 6, and it was just fun. Something like the animation is not the best, but it was fun, and I was terrified by a kid, but it was just fun. I did give it a 3.5 stars. I think I enjoy the remake a little bit better, but you know, I still really enjoyed it. It was nostalgic in many ways. So yeah, again, 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I was 1 year old when this movie came out, so it made me feel a little bit old. Then on the 7th, I watched Tangled, which is one of my favorite Disney movies. I prefer Tangled to Frozen, so yeah, I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Actually, I think I'm just going to give it 5, because I think I meant to give it 5, but I gave it 4.5, and which is one of my favorites. I just love it. I was a bit in a Disney mood, so then the next day I ended up watching Enchanted, which I love. I think they're making a sequel, I've heard, so that will be exciting. But I watched Enchanted, and I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really love the dancing scene at the end for So Close, which is probably one of my favorite songs. But yeah, 4.5 out of 5 stars, and who doesn't love Patrick Dempsey? So then on the 13th, I ended up watching Julie and Julia, which is, again, one of my all-time favorite movies, which, of course, I had to give it a 5 out of 5 stars, and I just really love it. It always makes me hungry with all the cooking in there, and some of the stuff I wouldn't eat, but there's a couple recipes that I really want to try out, which I think would be really good. So this is, again, one of my all-time favorite movies, and it has a really good humor in it, too, as well, which I really like. I was in the mood for rom-coms for some reason, so then I ended up watching While You Were Sleeping with Sandra Bullock. This isn't my favorite rom-com. It's a little bit unbelievable, and it's not the best, but I do really enjoy it. It's fun. I really like the chemistry between the two characters in here, so I gave that one a 3.5 stars as well. I then watched You've Got Mail, which is, I think, my number 2. Number 1 is When Harry Met Sally, but You've Got Mail is number 2. A lot of Meg Ryan that week, which with Tom Hanks, who I just love. Of course, that one had to get 5 out of 5 stars, and I just really love it. Next, I watched When Harry Met Sally, which again is another one of my favorites. This is like my favorite rom-com of all time. I love it. And of course, I had to give it 5 out of 5 stars. It was just really good. I've talked about this before, but I just love it. I could watch it every day and still be very happy and still love it no matter what. Then on the 18th, I ended up watching Sleepless in Seattle, which is, again, another of the classic rom-coms. I think it's number 3 after You've Got Mail, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. I really like this one. And just even the chemistry, like, even though they only meet at the end, like, I love it. I'm a sucker for those 80s, 90s rom-coms. And then lastly, I then rewatched Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle with my brother when he came in for my graduation, so we had a little movie night, and I love this movie. It is so funny. I haven't laughed this hard at a movie in a really long time, and it's just a lot of fun. And it plays on a lot of like stereotyping, which I think they do a really good job in. So if you haven't seen this yet, I was skeptical, but I like this so much more than the original, and they make it unique, which I really like. So yeah, this was really fun, and that's kind of all the movies I watched. They were just kind of all over the place. There was a lot of rom-coms, but yeah, I really enjoyed all the movies that I watched. I can't wait to watch the Avengers Infinity War. I haven't seen that yet, so that's definitely one I will be watching in May for sure. That's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you have any TV show suggestions, or if you have any questions for me for my upcoming Q&A. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.